Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today's March 14th, 2019, and today is Thursday morning. So we're still in the Brexit vote. Okay, it's still happening. Markets are still very, very volatile and expected to be until this finally comes through. So looking at the financial markets, let's take a review. Looking at the euro, it hit resistance yesterday and then faltered as we were speaking about it last night at the webinar. And then in the indices, we had the Dow Jones actually bounce, and there was an impetus for it to bounce. We'll get to that in just a moment. And looking at the commodities, both oil breaks resistance on the upside, and there was another impetus that moved the Dow Jones higher. Gold falters as the Dow Jones actually bounced. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. And lastly, the thing that rallied the market was a stock called ALCOA. ALCOA is the largest aluminum manufacturing company in the United States. We'll take a look at the stock and see how it's affecting the rest of the market. But let's just start out with the Forex symbols. We'll start out with the euro and see what we can expect from today's trading. So it's been a very volatile market, to say the least. Everything versus the USD and the GBP especially been very, very, very volatile and has had some character as well. Now we tanked earlier in the week to 1181. We bounced off of it finally, and we hit a little bit of a snag right here at 113.32-ish level. Now nothing to really, write home about necessarily unless we break this on the upside. Okay, this may continue to actually push higher, but I'd like to see it really consolidate here on the higher level, on the upper level, before it does. It may also look like it's developing a upside down head and shoulder. That would be one shoulder. This would be the head, and possibly this would be the second shoulder. Okay, so that actually might fruate for itself. So just be aware of that as this continues, because this may actually pop up higher, especially with the Brexit vote still happening. It's going to affect both the euro and the GBP, both very differently. So we're going to have to look for that and see how that actually plays out. Now, looking at the GBP. Okay, we're looking at a 4-hour chart here at the GBP, excuse me, and it's been very volatile. Look at these massive moves in just a short period of time. Really ideal for scalping the markets. For that type of environment, this is what you're looking for. Okay, short time trading and just following the momentum of the trade in short-term trading, and that's exactly what's been happening. Now, I don't want to call it. I don't want to say which way we're going to go because I think it's still too early to say. But you can see that things are solidifying. I mean, so far GBP has been very strong, and it's making these upper waves. Okay, looking like it's making this nice little trend line on the upside right there. Okay, so your next real support level is in that trend line area. Okay, I don't want to call it because it does look like it's making a double top, but again, it could turn on a dime, as we say in the United States, and push higher also. So just be aware of it before taking any sort of aggressive position on it or a long-term position in it. Just be careful because it can move in either direction. Now, looking at that gold, beautifully hit that resistance at 1312 right there and sold off to 1302. We're right there at previous resistance. So this is actually a decent place for it to bounce off of, since our low of 1181 right here. So giving about a $10 retracement move is considered something not too drastic after it rallied over about 30 points. So with that said, I think the markets are getting stronger. I think the indices are getting stronger, so the markets are a little bit less cautious about what's happening. So gold is retracing a little bit. Now, looking at oil, beautiful breakout move this morning, and you can see where we're trading at the top of that range. Now, this is really hard to trade, okay, until it actually breaks above it, and you see that momentum actually solidifying. You can see that it finally broke above this area, and the next resistance level is $60 a barrel. So we still have way to go here. Okay, 58.93. Not much of a support level. We'd have to look for a weekly chart to see if that's really much of a support level. That was a previous resistance level, back in this October of 2017. So with that said, Okay, it may retrace at that level of 58.93, but altogether, the next real resistance, it's about $60 a barrel. So a nice little push for oil on the upside there. Now, jumping into the Dow Jones, we saw that nice little rally after it sold off to 25,191-ish, okay, which was very sharp. And, earlier this week, we had a decent sell-off from our 26,170-ish level, and we're trading at 25,760-ish level. So we're about 400 points still shy of where we were at the beginning of the week. However, okay, this is really taking a hit earlier this week just because things were a little bit questionable what was going to happen with Brexit. But I think, once this is past us, I think we'll rally back. Now, the real impetus to this wasn't really just Brexit, but a stock called ALCOA. Now, this is ALCOA. ALCOA is the largest aluminum manufacturing company in the United States. It's really the bellwether. It's one of those things that is a little bit ahead of the curve in terms of giving us a little bit of perspective of what's happening in the markets and what we can expect from the markets in the type of businesses that is really old school. Okay, when I'm talking about businesses that are old school, I'm talking about the non-high tech, non-biotech, nothing really fancy kind of businesses, the real bricks and mortars that make regular businesses. Aluminum is used for several different categories of manufacturing plants in the United States. So it's really an important commodity that is not really traded on the actual Chicago Board of Exchange for Commodities. So you really have to look at the stocks to see where they're trading. And a good indicator is Alcoa. It's the largest company that's the manufacturing of aluminum. I mean, it had a nice rally earlier this week after hitting the support level of 2656, excuse me, and rallying to 2894. We're between these two areas of our upper limit of 3136. So I'd like to see this actually push higher for this continued rally to actually precipitate, okay, and continue further into next week. So that's what I would look for to give us a little bit of a clue into the Dow Jones and possibly, ripple effects in the market. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.